Good afternoon, everybody. So first off, I'm making a video about the South Carolina pre-trip because there's a lot of misinformation. The videos that you watch on YouTube most of them are not going to be honored in South Carolina because everything has changed so much. So I'm going to run through it, and this should help you pass a pre-trip in South Carolina, whether you're doing third party or whether you're at the DMV yard itself. So let's get started. This is going to be a lot of repetitive stuff. It sucks, but you have to do it to pass. If you don't pass the pre-trip, don't worry about driving because you ain't going to make it that far. All right, so let's get started. First of all, you'll be at the front of your truck after you get out of the end cap. Again, if you don't pass the end cap, you won't even make it to the outside of the truck. So make sure you study. The front of my truck, we go from top to bottom. Clearance lights, left and right turn signals, four-way flashers, running lights, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean, functional, and amber in color. Low beam and high beam, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean, functional, clear in color. Step back here at the front of my truck. I see no puddles, indicating a transmission, engine, or coolant leak. That's it for the front. Pop your latches. Pop your hood. Go to your passenger side first. Coolant reservoir is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. It's filled to the adequate level. The cap is on tight. It's not leaking. My hoses are properly mounted and secure. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. Not missing any clamps or couplings. They're not leaking. My alternator and water pump are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. They're both belt driven. My water pump is not leaking. The belt is properly mounted and secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. There are no loose fibers, and there's no more than 3/4 inch of free play when pushed or pulled upon. That'll get you out of the passenger side. All these trucks are going to be a little different, but this is what we got here. On this side, front to back, left to right, get you a system going. Air compressor is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's not leaking. It's gear driven. Oil dipstick, where I would check my oil level. I would pull it out, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull it back out, and make sure it's above the refill line. My hoses and lines, properly mounted and secure, not cracked or not worn, torn, or frayed. Sorry about that. Properly mounted and secure, not worn, torn, or frayed. Not missing any clamps or couplings. Not leaking. The power steering pump, properly mounted and secure, it's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's not leaking. It's also gear driven. It's gonna lead you out here. Power steering reservoir is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's filled to the adequate level. Caps are on tight. Not leaking. Make sure you say not leaking, and anything that has fluid, water, whatever it has in it. Power steering hose, properly mounted and secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. It's not missing any clamps. It's not leaking. Your power steering gearbox, properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's not leaking. Your pitman arm, drag link, steering arm, and tie rod, properly mounted and secure. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts, bolts, castle nuts, or cotter pins, and there are no loose joints. Now you move to the suspension. Do your suspension first and do your brakes last. The brakes will lead you to the tire. So the leaf spring mounts, front and rear, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts or bushings, no damage. Leaf springs, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of debris, not shifted. U-bolts, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts, not shifted, no damage. Shock absorber is properly mounted and secure from top to bottom. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. No damage, no leaks. That's the last part of my suspension, so that's going to follow me here to my brake system. My brake hose is properly mounted and secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. It's not missing any clamps or couplings. It's not leaking. The brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts or clamps. It's not leaking. Make sure you do not forget to clamp or you will not get credit. Slack adjuster, push rod, properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts or pins. And with the brakes released, I should not be able to pull my push rod more than 1 inch. That's going to lead you to the inside of the tire. Brake drum, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds or holes. It's free of debris. The brake lining, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not worn dangerously thin. It's free of debris, oil, and grease. That'll lead you out here to your steer tire. The steer tire is properly mounted and secure. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or damage. And it has at least 30 seconds of even tread wear. Gotta say even, or they're not gonna give you credit for it. My rim is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds or holes. No damage. Lug nuts, properly mounted and secure. Not cracked, bent, or broken. All lug nuts are present and tight. There are no shiny threads or rust trails indicating loose lug nuts or distorted bolt holes. Your hub seal, also properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's not leaking. This is your sight glass, just where you make sure your fluid is on level. Last thing, valve stem and cap. You gotta put and cap on there. So my valve stem and cap is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. This is where I check the PSI of my tire with a tire gauge. Then you would move to the door itself. The door is locked, so I won't be able to go through it, but we can make it work. Mirror mounts, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. So no damage. Then I will come here, I will pull on my door and open it. It latches and unlatches properly. My door will be open. My door and door hinges are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts, no damage. Then I will talk about the seals on the inside of my door and on the inside of the cab. The seals are properly mounted and secure. They're not worn, torn, or frayed, and they show no signs of dry rot. Then you could shut your door. After you shut your door, move straight down right here. My steps are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not missing any nuts or bolts. It's free of debris, and it will support my weight. My fuel tank and cap are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. The cap is on tight. It's not leaking. The fuel line is properly mounted and secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. It's not missing any clamps. It's not leaking. That'll take care of both of these steps here. Now we come back here to the back of the tractor. These lines here, go ahead and take care of these because they're in your face, literally. So we would go my emergency line, service line, and power line are properly mounted and secure from the back of the tractor. to the front of the trailer. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. My air lines are not leaking, and my electrical line is not spliced, chafed, or show any exposed wires. Your hands here, move straight right here to the middle. My lines and hose. My hoses and lines are at the adequate height off the catwalk, not dragging. Finish them out on this side. My emergency and service line glad hands are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not worn, torn, or frayed on the inside. They're in the lock position, not leaking. And take care of your electrical plug as well. My power line is seated properly inside my electrical box. It's in the lock position, no damage. After you finish those, come straight back to the tractor itself. Catwalk steps, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts. It's free of debris, and it will support my weight. From there, unit inside back here on the exhaust. My exhaust is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts, bolts, or clamps. It's free of carbon and soot trails, indicating exhaust leak. Drive shaft and couplers. They want you to say and couplers are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no debris. Frame, cross members are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no illegal welds or holes. From there, you would stay with your tractor itself. Finish the tractor first, then worry about your trailer later. So from the frame and cross members, we come straight to here. The fifth wheel skid plate is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It is properly greased. It sits flush with my trailer apron, and there is no gap. My fifth wheel skid plate is properly mounted and secured to the platform. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and there are no missing or illegal welds. My fifth wheel platform is properly mounted and secured to the mount. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts, and there are no missing or illegal welds. My fifth wheel assembly is adjusted to where my drive tires do not hit my landing gear on sharp turns. My fifth wheel release handle is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's in the lock position. That'll take care of all your fifth wheel. Continue this way. So if you need, you could crawl under here. Inside the fifth wheel skid plate is the kingpin. So you'll talk about the kingpin next. So the kingpin is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It is seated properly inside my fifth wheel skid plate, and the locking jaws are around the shank of my kingpin. Torsion bar, properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no damage. It comes straight back here. My reflector, left, right turn signals, four-way flashers, brake lights, tail lights, running lights. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Clean, functional, red in color. From there, like I said, if you need to figure this stuff out, from here, you lay straight on the ground. What you set at the front is going to be the same as your drive axle. The only thing you're going to be adding is your airbag. So, as you can see under there, you can see everything. Right here is our suspension and all, and then we'll do our brakes last. So the leaf spring mounts front to rear are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. not missing any nuts, bolts, or bushings, and there's no damage. The leaf spring is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Free of debris, not shifted. U-bolts, properly mounted and secure. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. Not shifted, no damage. Still with the suspension. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secure from top to bottom. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no damage and no leaks. My airbag is properly mounted and secure from top to bottom. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. It's not leaking, no damage. From there, back to your brake system. So your brake hoses are properly mounted and secure. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. Not missing any clamps or couplers. They're not leaking. It's hard to see, but yeah. The brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts or clamps. It's not leaking. Slack adjuster and push rod, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts, bolts, or pins. And with the brakes released, I should not be able to pull my push rod more than 1 inch. Finish your slack adjuster push rod. Move to the inner tire here. Brake drum, same thing. Properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal wells or holes. It's free of debris. The brake lining is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It is not worn dangerously thin. It's free of debris, oil, and grease. From there, that's going to move you out to your tire, which will be here. Your bud rim. Your bud rim is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It is evenly spaced. No gap in between my rims and no debris. From there, let it flow like water. Come out, straight down. Drive tires, properly mounted and secure. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or damage. It has at least 2 30 seconds. From there, we flow this way. My rim, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds or holes. Lug nuts, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All lug nuts are present and tight. There's no shiny threads or rust trails indicating loose lug nuts or distorted bolt holes. Axle seal, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. Not leaking. My valve stem and cap, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. To check the PSI of my tire, I would check it with a tire gauge. And the reason that your valve stem is not cracked, bent, or broken, it is metal. From there, the last thing to finish our tractor off is the mud flap. Mud flap, properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. The mud flap has no damage. It's the proper height from the ground. The DOT tape, properly mounted and secure, not worn, torn, or frayed. It's clean, red and white in color. That's going to finish your tractor all together. Now, we just worried about the trailer. Let's do our trailer. From this point on, everything on this trailer is metal. So it's always going to be properly mounted and secure and not cracked, bent, or broken. Every bit of it's metal. Let's go through it. So at the front of your trailer, my header board, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No bulges or holes. Will support my load. You're pointing up already. There's a clearance light up here. My clearance light is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Clean, functional, amber in color. Come straight down. Side of my trailer, is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. No bulges or holes. Will support my load. Straight down. My DOT tape is properly mounted and secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. It's clean. It's red and white in color, and it runs the length of my trailer. From here, we're still coming down, right? Trailer apron, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds or holes. It sits flush with my fifth wheel skid plate. No gap. When you get here, stop at about the middle of your mud flap and landing gear. My frame, cross members, and floor. Properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. No illegal welds or holes. Will support my load. Back here, my landing gear and platform. It's properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's in the up position, and it will support my load. Your landing gear crank, arm, crank, handle, whatever you want to call it. It's properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It is in the locked position. From there, just move down the side of the trailer. People call this different from what I call it, but this is an intermittent light. It's properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's clean, functional, amber in color. It's multi-function. Over here is left turn signal, four-way flasher, and running light. Come to the back right here. Let me switch trailers so we don't have to listen to this chiller. Alright, so when you get here, my air lines are properly mounted and secure. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. They're not missing any clamps. They're not leaking. They're the proper height from the ground. From there, my tandem release valve is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, or clamps. It's not leaking. It's in the locked position. My tandem locking pins are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. No damage. They're in the locked position. Under here is a little different, but still the same concept. You will do your suspension first and your brakes last. The brakes always leave you out to the tire. So this trailer has a control arm. Some trailers have leaf springs. The newer trailers normally have control arms, so we'll do the control arm trailer. My control arm is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's connected at the front, welded to the axle, and attached to the top and bottom of my airbags, not shifted. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. No damage, no leaks. My airbag, properly mounted and secure from top to bottom. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. There's no damage, no leaks. That takes care of all your suspension. And you're right here. My brake hoses, properly mounted and secure. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. Not missing any clamps. They're not leaking. Brake chamber, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts, bolts, or clamps. It's not leaking. Everything with air, water, any kind of fluid, it's not leaking. Slack adjuster, push rod, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any nuts, bolts, or pins. And with the brakes released, I should not be able to pull my push rod more than 1 inch. Brake drums, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds or holes, free of debris. Brake lining, properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not worn, dangerously thin. It's free of debris, oil, and grease. The inside of your tire, you get done with that. Come right here, again, to your Bud rim. Bud rim's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It is evenly spaced. There's no gap in between my rims, no debris. My tandem tires, properly mounted, secure. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or damage. And it has at least 2 seconds of even tread wear. Same thing. I know it's very repetitive, but this is what you have to do. My rim, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds or holes. Lug nuts, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All lug nuts are present and tight. No shiny threads or rust trails indicating loose lug nuts or distorted bolt holes. Again, axle seal, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. No damage, no leaks. These have self-inflating tires. Either way, still have to say it. My valve stem and cap are properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. If I had a tire gauge, this is where I would check it. Check the PSI in my tire. Even though it does have self-inflate, but it doesn't matter. And you would step back after you get done with your last part of your tandem. You would touch this tire, and you would say, I would inspect this axle the same way I inspected this axle. Walk back here. Don't forget about your mud flap. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. My mud flap has no damage. It's the proper height from the ground. That's it. Come back here. Do not miss these 2 lights. Do not. Most of these trailers have big ass stickers right here. You cannot miss it. ABS light is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's clean, functional, amber in color. Marker light, properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Clean, functional, red in color. Let's do this trailer over here. We'll do this one. Alright, so back here, just like the front, we go top to bottom. Marker lights, left and right turn signal, 4-way flasher, brake lights, and tail lights. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Clean, functional, red in color. Go back to the top. My DOT tape at the top and at the bottom. Properly mounted, secure, not worn, torn, or frayed. It is clean. It's white at the top, red and white at the bottom, and it runs the length of my doors. My door latch is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. It's in the lock position, and it unlocks and locks from the outside. Door seal is properly mounted, secure. It's not worn, torn, or frayed, and it shows no signs of dry rot. My door is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no bulges or holes, and it will support my load. That's pretty much it on the back. You don't have to talk about your safety bump. When you get done with all that, think about what you've done. Make sure you haven't missed anything. The last thing you're going to tell the examiner, I would inspect this side the same way I inspected this side. That lets him know that you're done and the test will be over. If you need to, study this over and over and over again. When you're in class, do your due diligence. and make your time useful. Unless you just like donating money. I don't like donating money. So I hope this helps somebody. I've been over this. I can do this in my sleep at this point, but I take it serious. So yeah, y'all just study. Y'all study. Y'all have a good day, and peace out.